the purpose of PSAK 25 is to regulate the criteria for selecting and applying accounting policies. The scope is selection and application of accounting policies, accounting for changes in accounting policies, changes in accounting estimates, and corrections of previous period errors. The tax impacts resulting from error correction and retrospective adjustment to changes in accounting policies are treated and disclosed in accordance with PSAK 46 income tax. So first, we'll talk about the concept of materiality. Failure to include or errors in recording financial statement items is material if, either individually or collectively, they can influence the economic decisions of users of the financial statements. Materiality depends on the size and nature of the omission or errors in recording it, taking into account the relevant condition. The size or nature of financial statement items, or a combination of both, may be the determining factor. Assessing whether an omission or recording error could affect a user's economic decision and be material requires consideration of the user's characteristics. Such assessments need to consider how the intended users are expected to be rationally influenced in making economic decisions. Next, we'll talk about accounting policies. The definition of accounting policies are certain principles, bases, conventions, regulations, and practices that an entity applies in the preparation and presentation of financial statements. Will affect the recognition, measurement, and presentation of elements such as assets, liabilities, equity, income, and expenses in financial statements. The accounting policies chosen by the entity must explain when and under what condition it is recognized, how much it is recognized, and how it is presented in the financial statements. Next, we'll talk about the establishment of accounting policies. PSAK specific. When a PSAK specifically applies to a transaction, then the accounting policies applied to that item uses the PSAK. No PSAK specific. When there is no specific PSAK, then management uses its judgment in developing and implementing an accounting policies that produces relevant and reliable information. It presents honesty, reflects economic substance, neutral, sound, and complete considerations. Considerations in implementation. Sources of reference for management in making consideration in implementing policies is first, requirements and guidelines in PSAK relating to similar and related issues, and then second, definition, recognition, criteria, measurement, concept of assets, liabilities, income, and expenses in the basic framework for preparing and presenting financial reports. Management also uses the latest accounting standards issued by other standard-setting bodies that refer to the same KDPPLK accounting literatures, applicable industry accounting practices, as long as it does not conflict with the main reference. Consistency of policy implementation. The entity selects and applies accounting policies consistently to similar transaction events and other conditions. Unless PSAK specifically regulates or permits the grouping of items with different accounting policies, this is the right thing. If PSAK regulates or permits such grouping, then appropriate accounting policies are selected and applied consistently for each group. Then we'll talk about changes to accounting policies. An entity changes an accounting policy only if the change is required by a PSAK or produce financial reports that provide reliable and more relevant information about the impact of transaction events and other conditions on the entity's financial position, financial performance, or cash flows. Users need to compare financial reports from one period to another, so consistent application of policies is necessary. Not an accounting policy. This is not a change in the accounting policy, it's application of an accounting policy to transactions, events, or other conditions that differ substantially from those that occurred previously. Application of a new accounting policies for transaction, events, or other conditions that have never occurred before or are not material. The initial application of asset valuation in accordance with PSAK 16, which is fixed asset, or PSAK 19, intangible asset, is a change in accounting policies related to a revaluation in accordance with PSAK 16 or PSAK 19, not in accordance with this statement. Implementation of policy changes. Implementation of changes in accounting policies depend on the entity records changes in accounting policies resulting from the initial implementation of a PSAK as regulated in the transition provision in that PSAK, if any. If there are no transition provision or policy changes made voluntarily, then an entity applies the changes retrospectively. Retrospective application of a change to a new accounting policies is a model of recognition, measurement, transaction events, and other conditions as if the policy had been implemented. Retrospective restatement is the correction of the recognition, measurement, and disclosure of the amounts of financial statement elements as if errors in the previous period had never occurred.
And then next is the retrospective application. When the accounting policies are changed retrospectively, the entity makes adjustment for the first is the initial balance, and then next is the relative quantity. So next is I'm gonna talk about the initial implementation of disclosure. There are 6 points, and first one is the PSAK heading, and then the second one is the changes to accounting policies that are implemented in accordance with transition provisions where applicable, and then the third one is the nature of accounting policy changes, and then the explanation of transitional provision if applicable, and then the fifth one is the transitional provision affecting the future period where relevant. And then the sixth one is for the current and preceding periods, the adjustment amount should be determined to the extent feasible. First is for each impacted financial statement item, and then the second is the basic and diluted LPS if PSAK 56 is applied to the entity. Of the adjustment amount pertains to period preceding those disclosed to the extent feasible. And B, if retrospective application for impractical for a specific prior period or period preceding those disclosed, provide details on the circumstances that caused that condition and explain how and when the accounting policy change was implemented. Next is the voluntary change of disclosure. The first one is the nature of accounting policy changes, and then the second one is advantages of implementing new accounting policies for reliable and more relevant information. And then the third one is adjustment amount for the current period and its preceding period presented as feasible. The first one is adjustment to its impacted financial statement item, and then the next is the adjustment to basic and diluted LPS. And then the fourth one is the amount of adjustment relating to periods prior to period presented to the extent practical, and circumstances that give rise to the existence of that condition, and an explanation of how and from when the change is in accounting policy is applied. If retrospective application is impractical for a particular period or for periods before the period presented, financial statement for subsequent periods do not need to repeat this disclosure. Next, the point is the latest PSAK has not effective yet. When an entity has not adopted a new PSAK that has been issued but is not yet effective, the entity must disclose. The first one is that reality, and then the second one is the relevant information that can be reasonably estimated or known to assess the potential impact of implementing the new PSAK on financial statement in the initial period of its implementation. New PSAK disclosure is not yet effective. Why? The first one is the new title of the new PSAK, and then the second is changes to standards or accounting policies that are not yet effective, and then the third one is the required implementation date of PSAK, and then the entity's intended date for implementing the initial PSAK, and an assertion regarding whether first an analysis of the influence of the initial adoption of PSAK on financial statement, and then the second is whether if the impact cannot be determined or reasonably estimated, a statement to that effect. Next is the estimating and accounting. Accounting estimates represent entity approximations that have the potential to impact components within the financial statement. Estimation should reflect on organization's discernment using the latest dependable information accessible. Numerous factors impact LK elements, which are challenging to measure precisely but can only be approximated due to the inherent uncertainty in business operation. Utilizing accurate estimates is paramount when creating the LK to maintain its reliability. Adjustment in accounting estimation. The estimation entails discernment found on the most up-to-date and dependable information. Estimates may require revision in response to changes in the underlying circumstances or due to new information or increased experience. Change in accounting estimates encompass first is the adjustment to the carrying amount of an asset or liability, or the amount of periodic use of an asset arise from an evaluation of the current status and anticipated future benefits and obligation linked to the asset and liability. Second is the changes in accounting estimates arise from new information or development rather than from error correction. An entity must acknowledge the impact of adjustment in estimates prospectively as outlined below. When a modification in an accounting estimate leads to adjustment in assets or and liability, or is associated with an equity item, the alteration in the accounting estimate is acknowledged by modifying the carrying amount of the relevant asset, liability, or equity item during the period of change. Change in accounting estimates, apart from the change in application mentioned above, are recognized prospectively in the profit or loss statement. First, if the change impact is solely within that period, it is considered a period of transition, and then if the period change and any future period affected by the change. An entity is required to disclose the nature and amount of changes in accounting estimates. First is the impact on present period, and second, it is anticipated to have an effect in upcoming period, unless revealing the effects in future period is impractical for estimating that effect. Second, if the impact amount in future period is not disclosed due to the estimate being impracticable, the entity must disclose that fact. Error. Error may occur in recognizing, measuring, presenting, or disclosing financial statement component. Financial statements are not compliant with PSAK if they include first, material mistake, and then second is intentionally immaterial to achieve a specific financial position, financial performance, or cash flow presentation. Mistake from the past period. Prior period error encompass omission and inaccuracies in according with an organization's financial statement for one and more previous periods due to the neglect or incorrect use of dependable information accessible upon the finalization of the financial statement for the period, and then the second one is expected to be acquired and utilized in the preparation and presentation of financial report. There are errors such as the first is effects of mathematical computation mistakes, second is misapplication of accounting principle, third is the error or misinterpretation of information, and then the fourth one is fraud.
So next is correction of past period errors. An entity rectifies prior period material errors retrospectively in the initial complete financial statement issued after the error is detected by restate comparative amounts for the previous period in which the error occurred. If an error occurred before the earliest period presented, restate the opening balances of asset, liabilities, and equity for the earliest prior period presented. Limitation of retrospective restatements. The error detected, the restatement correction, retrospective, impracticality of determining specific impacts, impracticality of determining cumulative impacts, statements not included in profit or loss, and impracticality of determining the number of errors. Disclosure of prior period errors. In applying paragraph 42, an entity shall disclose the following. First, the nature of prior period errors, then the amount of correction for each presentation period as far as practicable. For each affected financial statement item, and basic and diluted earnings per share if PSAK 56 earning per share is applied to the entity. The amount of the correction at the beginning of the earliest period presented, and if retrospective restatement is impracticable for a particular period, the circumstances giving rise to a existence of that condition, and an explanation of how and since when the error has been corrected. Financial statements for subsequent periods do not need to be repeat disclosure. Impractication of retrospective application and retrospective restatements. Data limitations, difficult to estimate, there is no hindsight, and it is difficult to differentiate information. Effective date, transition, provision, and withdrawal. The effective date is this statement applies to financial year periods beginning on or after 1st of January 2011. Transitional provisions. How the relevant changes should be applied by the entity in preparing the financial statements. Amendments to PSAK 71. Amendments to the conceptual framework reference in S8K. Amendments to PSAK 1st and PSAK 25 concerning definition of material. Adjustment to paragraph 52 and 5. Withdrawal. This means that PSAK 25 1994 no longer applies and is completely replaced by this statement. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for the presentation and attention. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.